Hello and welcome to that Peter Crouch podcast. Slightly different vibe today. I'm on my own because I'm playing in Liverpool Legends versus Chelsea Legends at Anfield today. Managed to train last night. It's for the LFC Foundation, which I have to give a big shout out for. I do a lot of great work in the community. For me, I just can't wait to get the boots back on. But various bits and pieces happening today. We're going to be interviewing some top players I played with, players I trained with last night who are looking really, really sharp. I'm really looking forward to seeing them again. I've got a few pre-match nerves. I'm apprehensive. I mean, apparently it's basically a sellout. I mean, it potentially will be. I heard last night it was 58,000 tickets sold. That's not far off a sellout, which is absolutely incredible. I have to give a big mention to the foundation. Obviously, the LFC Foundation does a lot of hard work in the Liverpool area and across the country. And big shout out to them and thanks for having me, because I thought these days were well behind me. And walking out in front of a packed Anfield, in front of my family, friends, with some of the players I'm playing with is a dream come true, really. Yeah, obviously it's my first Legends match. This, in all honesty, is the first match I've played since I retired. Just because it's so special. Like, my little boy's getting into Liverpool now, and he's 5 years old, and I really wanted to, show him that I actually did play once. Just walking out, I think, in the red, in front of a packed Anfield crowd with some of the players I'm playing with against Chelsea, I think that's just going to blow his mind. And, that was probably one of the biggest reasons that, I came back and did it. Obviously, it's great to see the players that I played with again. Great to go and see some of the fans that, kind of supported me when I was at Anfield. And of course, it's all for a good cause. Well, let me give you a little lowdown on training last night. We trained at the AXA, which is obviously Liverpool's new training ground. Very different to Melwood. Managed to get lost quite a few times. But yeah, the boys look sharp. Albert Riera, I think, was sharp. Djibril Cissé looks like he could still, his finishing was still on point. Cinema Pongo looks sharp. Dirk. Trying to think some of the highlights, really. It was good. I managed to sneak a couple of goals, which is about all I did. Right, I'm very excited about this. Let's get into the pod. Right, I'm here with current Liverpool player Jake Spearing and Ryan Babel.
Be careful, mate.
How are we, boys? All right?
Very good. You?
Yeah, really good. Really. Yeah. Listen, just get into it. Obviously, the reason I called you a current Liverpool player, I asked you just off air there, can you currently play in the first team? Because you are a registered player, but you're obviously 21's coach.
Yeah. So how it works is I've signed pretty much pro forms.
Yeah.
So if there was a catastrophe or something really, really bad happened and they were looking for somebody to get involved, then I could physically probably play with the forms that I've signed. Yeah.
Yeah. And how much are you enjoying the 21's role, the coaching and stuff?
Do you know what? It's incredible. For me, it's class. It's kind of come like in a bit of a full circle, especially joining the academy at 7 and I'm going all the way through. You like to then come back in, and then now I'm trying to get the next ones to come through. For me, it's it's a huge buzz, and also because I still get to play. So like it's a day-to-day basis. I train most days, and then obviously the coaching bit's on the side at the minute. So trying to keep the boots on until someone will literally take them off me.
Yeah, nice. And how good is the standard of Liverpool's academy? Throughout the years has been notorious. But
they're getting quicker.
Got some good, good players coming through.
Yeah, listen, the players that are bringing through, from all around the world, like the international players at their level, under 17s, 18s, 19s. To be at Liverpool, you've got to be a decent player to come and play. The lads are great. They're good bunch of lads. They're quick. They're fast. And I'm just there kind of just to show on a daily basis what it takes to become a pro, in and around the gym, what they're eating, the standards, inside of football, outside of football, and in training sessions, give it absolutely everything, do things properly. And then if there's anything, we do a lot of individual work as well. So after sessions, we do a lot of stuff on the grass, but also in the office as well, working on clips on how they can improve.
Have you seen a difference from kind of when we played to the mentality of some of the young players? Like when you came through to when they came through?
Do you know what the hardest thing is? Getting them to talk.
Yeah.
The talking in the game now is completely gone. Like even trying to tell someone, get one of the lads to shout to the mate man on. It's the hardest thing to get them to do, because I just think the game's evolved and they just don't want to do it. They feel as if it's like a bit of a, do you know what, I'm not going to be cool enough if I shout man out, or I'm going to be looked upon as if I shouldn't be doing that. But if anything, you're just helping your mate out on the pitch, which is dead strange, but you just won't do it. And it's a real thing that we can every single day trying to bring out of them. where like
Yeah.
I don't shut up on the pitch, so they're a bit like probably looking at me, telling me to.
But right, you must have that. Because you're lads playing at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Is he like that or?
No, same actually.
Really?
You know, they do a lot of things well, but then also like, for example, one of my boys, he's 14, plays striker, and he never opens his mouth to ask the ball if they don't play him. I'm like, you have to get angry if you don't get the ball. You're a striker.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but he doesn't do it. So I have to push him to be more vocal on the pitch.
Yeah, well, like you did, right? I remember, listen, if I didn't give you the ball, you'd let us know about it.
I mean, to be honest, when I was younger, I was also struggling a little bit. But then I realized actually at Liverpool, a lot of these guys were very aggressive. So they kind of like dragged me in it to be more aggressive.
You had to with Cara though, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, that was quite an aggressive
Yes,
team, to be fair.
yes,
But it was kind of sink or swim, but it was like full of hard
Absolutely.
characters. And
Absolutely.
how did you find it when you first arrived at Liverpool?
You know what? It was, I realized like, so in Ajax you had this like type of like family feeling. You had friends, you had whatever. And I remember very well, when I signed, you guys were already at training camp in Switzerland. So I joined immediately in Switzerland. And I had to get used to the schedules, the way they share the schedules on paper and everything. And I would lose the schedule. And then I would have to ask mates, like, what time is the lunch or the meeting? And then I remember it was one of those moments I asked Cisse, like, what time is the meeting? And he gave me some time, and it apparently was the wrong time. So I came late. And I realized, like, okay, no, I have to stay sharp. I'm on my own. They're not going to help me.
He's told that on purpose.
He's actually
Because
done it.
I've never, I don't think I've seen John Arne was early for every meeting
Okay.
he's ever been in.
Right.
He
So-
knows the time.
Yeah. So I guess he was like probably testing or,
Yeah.
but it was definitely different.
Yeah, but how do you find it? Obviously, you know, you grew up a Liverpool fan, right? How did you find it, like the size of the club? Because, you know, Ajax is a massive club, right?
Yeah.
But how did you find when you first arrived at Liverpool?
Yeah, so I mean, I knew about Liverpool, but not enough, right? So I only started really learning and realizing how huge Liverpool club was when I joined, right? So we had, after Switzerland, we had this Asian training camp. We went to Hong Kong and I think China it was. And then I remember fans sleeping outside the hotel, waking up to us and everything. And I was like, whoa, this is incredible. So, you know, I was... it was for me, a lot of education, you know, when I joined Liverpool about what the club really meant to people and fans.
Yeah. And good to be back. You played these Legends games before. It's my first one. What shall I expect?
Do you know what's hard to explain? I was petrified last year. Literally petrified leading into it because I didn't have a clue of what the pace was going to be like. Yeah. Do we tackle?
Yeah.
You know, do you get stuck in, or do you like kind of like, you know, let them play, and then obviously we have a go of playing, you have a go of playing.
Yeah.
But we were 1-0 down after 5 minutes against Ajax, you know what I mean? And they started sharp, and I was thinking, oh Jesus, we're gonna have to get going here.
Yeah.
It was tough, weren't it? And they popped it.
Yeah.
And in the end, obviously we ended up winning 4-2, but I thought it was different to what I expected, to be honest.
Different. So what? Going back to your time as players at Liverpool, I know you still are, Jay, but you know, like when you were playing, and you, Ryan, what would you say your favourite moment in a Liverpool shirt was?
I mean, I would say if I reflect on my time, I had a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, I think one of the very few moments that stood out for me was, I would say, the quarterfinal against Arsenal. When I came off the bench, was able to create a penalty for Stevie G and scored in the final minutes myself. You know, it was a 4-2 win. I guess, you know, that was one of the standout memories. And of course, I had a lot more, but that one was obviously Champions League, quarterfinal. You go to the next round, you have massive impact. You know, scoring in front of the cup.
Yeah. Special moments. You, Jay?
Mine's not scoring, mate. I never scored for Liverpool, which I was... It's different for me because obviously I'm a Liverpool fan. Yeah. You know, I joined the club again, you know, at 7. I'd worked tirelessly for like 12 years to get an opportunity to play for the club. I'm going to drop a huge bomb here, but you know, the Real Madrid game, that was my home debut. For me as a local lad, it was an unbelievable achievement for me.
Amazing.
You know, to win the game 4-0, to get subbed on for Steven, it was kind of like wow moment.
What is that moment like for your family? Like, are they there? I imagine they're all there.
Yeah.
How was it after?
After was different, you know, because I remember going home and obviously like speaking to my dad on the phone and whatever, but I went home and my dad like ran me and said, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just got home now." He's like, "Make sure you get to bed, you got training in the morning."
Oh, really?
And that was the first thing he said. I was like,
it's like the next thing.
Yeah, it's like the next thing, but that was the way he always was. And, you know, he was incredible. And, you know, I owe him an incredible amount of stuff from where I've got to. But that was literally straight after the game. It was like, come on, you got the next one to try and go to, because, you know, I wanted to, you know, kick on to get that first moment. It was incredible, you know, to go on. That's such a game of such importance to play against, you know, Cisse and Heinze and Van der Vaart and all them. And Ryan was involved in the game as well. It was an incredible thing for a local lad to be involved in, but I got told straight away. And even Rafa said to me, oh, by the way, the Resis are playing tomorrow. You're playing against Man United. So I had to go and play one. I went from playing against 45,000 in Real Madrid to then playing against away at United and Resis in front of 50.
And where was it?
Warrington. And that was the difference. And that was like, but that kept me, you know, that kept me grounded and kept me going and thinking, you know what? That's where I want to be. Not no disrespect. You know, I don't want to be in the Warrington one.
Yeah,
so that was
brilliant.
Little wake up call. That
good memories. And right, so what are you up to now? I mean, we've had a little chat at, you know, training last night, but you tell everyone what you're doing.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm retired now for a year. So it's kind of still fresh to me to be retired, have all this freedom. Throughout my career, I've always been kind of like entrepreneurial, trying to dig in things, and been, you know, the majority of my life always involved in the music business. Right now, since 2017, also find myself in the crypto space. I run a crypto community with over 1,500 people, so help them guidance, making good financial decisions. Real estate now. I moved to Dubai. Started a company there for expats if they want to move there, to help them with their visa, company setup, and of course if they want to invest in real estate, give them a little bit of guidance about different locations. You know, I do a little bit of here and there. Also get myself more educated.
This is well more interested than mine.
You told me before you run around and kick people. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
No, it does. Listen, that sounds great, man. Really interesting stuff, you know. So.
And last thing I was going to say was I also have an agency in Paris that focuses on athletes who are more interested in exploring their personal branding within the fashion industry. So we help with that.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
You had me at crypto, really.
We'll leave it at that.
No, it's good, man. Brilliant. And what should I expect from the game then today? Obviously, you've seen, you know, Kenny Dalglish around the hotel, and, you know, what an absolute legend. What's the team talks like, and what should I expect?
I think he'd be quite chilled.
Yeah.
He still scares me. Yeah, he's still got that aura about him, man. He
the moment he walks into a room, you know.
You start stumbling what to say. You go quiet. Are you okay? And I think that's as far as I can go. No, I think it'd be quite chilled. You know, it's fun. And I think for me, these occasions for me are class, because you get to see obviously old faces that you played with at obviously such a big club, and it's fun, mate. It's good fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, thanks for joining us, boys.
Yes. Thank you, mate.
Really appreciate it. Cheers, Jay.
Yes, thank you.
Good luck for the game.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, no introduction to this man. It's the Dirk Kuyt. How are you, mate?
I'm very well.
Yeah.
Looking forward to play a game again with you.
Mate, great to be linking up again.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, well, I think I really enjoyed playing with you, but I'm going to get into it in a minute. But firstly, do you remember when I drove the go-kart into you?
Yeah.
By mistake, by the way.
I remember many things with you on and off the pitch, but that day was unbelievable, and I can still remember your face. You were in a total shock, and I still can't believe that everyone survived it without any injuries.
Oh my God. I remember I flew into the pits and freaking hell, man. And I always remember you. I don't know how you just turned around late. Yeah. Do you remember your legs? You went open with your legs.
No, I jumped over you.
Straight through.
Quite impossible. No, I was in shock as well. And we were with a couple of players. And you came in total shock. You couldn't find a break. And,
it wasn't there. Was the break?
Was just,
it's very dangerous. And before Barcelona semi-final, right?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, mate, honestly, it was amazing that no one came unscathed. But Rafa wasn't happy with me after that.
He was fuming.
It was
his idea to go-karting, but we never expected this. Oh, it was so much fun. Afterwards.
Yeah. So, Dirk, what are you up to now? I know you've obviously been in management, been coaching. Yep. You're working with Arne Slot beforehand at Feyenoord. How was that first?
I'm not really working with him, but I know him very well.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity when I retired from football to become his assistant at AZ. I didn't chose to become his assistant, which I regret, of course, now. But when he was at Feyenoord, he gave me the opportunity to walk a week alongside him to see how he's training, how he's preparing training session, and how he's preparing for a game. So that was really interesting, and of course, I'm following very closely.
Yeah.
Already at Feyenoord, and now even more at Liverpool. So it's amazing the job he's doing. So hopefully he can keep going until the end, because to manage to win the Premier League in his first season will be something really incredible.
Yeah, amazing. And how's that viewed, like in Holland? You know, how are pleased for
everyone is really pleased. When Arne Slot came at Feyenoord from AZ, it was his first big job in Holland. The expectations were not really high, but he managed to do an incredible job in his first season. And then he managed to win the league with Feyenoord, which is something really rare, because Feyenoord is not managing to win many championships in the last year. So that was unbelievable. And then he had the opportunity to come to Liverpool, especially after Jurgen Klopp was leaving. Nobody had big expectations, because it's a very difficult job to get the job after Jurgen. But of course, we Dutchmen are pretty confident about ourselves and about our people. But what he's done so far is incredible, and everyone is watching him, of course, what he's doing. I think he's doing very well. Unfortunately, he played a very good team in the Champions League. That's why they are out now. But beside that, it's amazing to see how he's doing, and also how he's managing to cope with everything, also with the press. We already knew that he was very good in communication, but also to speak in a different language, in English. He's managing to do very well. So, we're very happy about it.
Yeah.
Very proud.
No, amazing. And obviously you did some amazing things in a red shirt, right? At your time at Liverpool when you were playing. I'm just trying to think of my favourite memories of you. You gave me one of my best nights really in football was when you scored the penalty, the winning penalty in the 2007 semi-final. I never dreamt that I'd get to a Champions League final, and when you're stepping up for that penalty, that for me that was such a special moment, and I suppose that'll be special for so many fans as well.
For me that was the highlight of my time at Liverpool. We've played together, so we know how special it is to play for Liverpool. We played many good games, but that night, the semi-final Champions League,
against today's opponents, Chelsea.
Against today's opponent. Unfortunately, Mourinho is not there, but it would be fun. But it was an unbelievable night, and we managed to get the game to extra time. I thought we did really well in that extra time. I scored an onside goal, which was gave offside, but then to step up for the final penalty, what you don't know beforehand, it was
what's going through your mind in that? Because you took some big penalties for Liverpool.
I
remember some ones against Everton as well.
Arsenal in 12th or 13th minute of the injury time at the Emirates Stadium, but this was the biggest one. And all I thought is, yes, I have the opportunity to shoot Liverpool to the Champions League final, and didn't have much time to think about it, but I was so happy, and I will never forget that night, and I think it's the same for you.
And what, I'm just trying to think what you achieved at Liverpool, obviously was fantastic, and talk us through even a hat-trick at Man United as well. You got a hat-trick against Man United. There's so many big goals and big games that you came up in.
So in my first season, I was playing with you as a striker, but after the second season, I was playing more on the right. So I played for Liverpool in different kind of positions, mostly up front, but I never minded it. But if you're not playing as a striker in and out, it's more difficult to score many goals. But I was always able to score important goals. I scored in the Champions League final. I scored in every stage of the Champions League, which is incredible. But I don't know if you remember the game against Standard Liège, where we scored in the extra time. And we managed to go to the Champions League, which was also very big for us at the time. But of course, also the hat-trick against Man United was something really special, although it was the most easiest one. Actually, the first goal was actually the goal of Luis Suarez. But I enjoyed my time at Liverpool, and that's why it's also amazing to come back for this kind of occasions, to be back with the lads, to be back with you. So,
how special is it? I mean, as a club, like I just think there's not many clubs that sell out. 60,000 people for a Legends match. Yeah. And anyone who's ever played for Liverpool just always has a real connection with it. Yeah. What is it about the club that you think?
For me, it's like, when I left Liverpool, when you are a player, you already understand that Liverpool is a very big club all over the world. When we go our pre camps in Asia or other places, we know how big the club is. But once you retire or once you leave the club, you feel even more welcome to the club, because even as a foreign player, I always felt welcome. I've been invited many times for these kind of occasions, but also during the season to be part of a commercial stuff of the club. So to be part of this big family is something really special. And I think what the club is doing with the Legends games is amazing.
Really
also,
good,
last season I was involved in the Liverpool Ajax Legend game, and the people from Holland, Ajax, were, this is amazing, we should do this as well. So we're not only doing this, to give something back to the city because it's for a good cause, it's for the Liverpool, the LFC Foundation, but also we inspire other teams to do the same. So Ajax is now doing the same, organizing Legend games. So it's a great thing, and I think Liverpool is a great example how many clubs should handle their former players.
Yeah, exactly right. No, definitely. What are you up to now, Dirk?
Yeah, I'm into coaching. So when I retired, I worked for a couple of years with the youth academy of Feyenoord. I was coaching the under-19s. Then I've done my badges. It's taking like 3-4 years in Holland, but it was also during COVID, so it was a difficult time to get your badges done. Then I had a managing job at ADO Den Haag, a team in Holland. That one didn't go very well. And now I am at Beerschot, a team in Antwerp in Belgium. I came there last year at the beginning of the year, so halftime when the season was already halfway. And we managed to win the championship, which was unexpected, but a great achievement in a short time. And now we are struggling to stay in the league. But for me as a coach, it's a great experience. And I think you have to be a little bit crazy to be in the job, because it takes so much of your time. But I'm addicted to football. I love the game, and I love to be a coach. So hopefully I can develop myself more to be one day be back here. In this country.
100%. Listen, Dirk, hopefully, we link up again today. It was a pleasure playing with you back then, and
I will
hopefully it is today. Hopefully, man. You should do my running.
I will do. I always did.
Right, I've got Yossi Benayoun with me. Hello, Yossi.
Hi, hello.
All good?
Happy to be here.
I appreciate you doing this, Yoss, because you know what Yossi said to me before? He said, I don't do podcasts. He said, I only do it for you.
Only for you.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
They ask me every day in Israel, and I say, sorry, I don't do podcasts.
And they're going to see you on this and go, hold on a minute. It's going to open the floodgates. But Yoss, you know what? I absolutely love sharing the dressing room with you. Like, you're such a good lad in the dressing room.
Thank
and
you
I think
very
what
much.
I found with you, Yoss, obviously, incredibly talented player, but you would speak to, I felt, the whole dressing room in any language. Whenever I turn around, you're speaking like French to the French lads, Spanish to the Spanish boys. You speak.
Well, I'm trying to learn a little bit of each language, but I speak a few languages, Spanish, English, Hebrew, Dutch. I used to play when I was young at Ajax, so I learn a little bit. So I try to learn a little bit from each language. Then it's easier to get, in the dressing room to contact every player, and so they feel free.
It is, I just found it was mind-blowing for me. Obviously, English are very lazy with the languages, right? So when I saw you just bouncing around but having a laugh in everyone else's language, I just thought it was so impressive.
I think it's important also for every player, especially who come from out of the country, to learn the language quick. Then you adapt very quick, and it's easier to get friends in the dressing room. And I think it's...
But obviously, does that help you in your role? Obviously now, right? You're just explain your role that you had recently with Israel.
Yeah, I was in the last 5 years since I retired, I became a sport director. So of course the language, it helped me because with the connection that I have, in Spain, in England, and in Holland. So I can call some people and speak in their own language. It's easier for them also, and I enjoyed very much. I left the national team in the last few months. It was a privilege to be the sport director of the national team. I enjoyed very much, and now I'm thinking about my next step, maybe to go abroad, away from Israel, and in some position. I also did my pro license, so a few options. So we'll see what
happens.
Yeah.
So talk us through your time in England. Obviously, you had quite a few clubs, right? Obviously, I'm thinking of West Ham, and you could have. I know Chelsea are on at you today about playing for them as well. Perhaps
I said I play today only for Liverpool. Yeah, only for Liverpool. Yeah, but I had a great time in England. I left Israel when I was 22. I went for 3 years in Spain, and then I came to England for 9 years, and I had the best time of my career. I started for West Ham, and then I moved for Liverpool for 3 years, and then Chelsea. 1 year loan in Arsenal, and I finished with QPR also. So, but I had a great time. I think the best decision of my career was to come to England. Because everyone in Israel said, no, you are too thin, you are too weak, you will never do it in England. Then when I left Spain. And I really understand from the beginning the best player for me for football, to show what I can do. And I had a great time for West Ham. Is a big club, with the fans, get great connection.
Yeah, great connection.
And I was lucky to come to big clubs also after, bigger clubs.
They loved you at West Ham, right? It was...
I loved it.
What was your initial reaction first moving to London?
To London, I had a great dressing room. Bobby Zamora, Teddy Sheringham, a lot of Matthew Etherington, a lot of great players, James Collins, and Anton Ferdinand.
Good characters.
Good character, funny, like you said, the banter. It was great. I think it was the best place for me to come first to start my career in England. And of course, on the pitch with Alan Pardew, he gave me all the freedom I needed. And the fans, I think I love the fans, and I felt they loved me back from the first moment. So I built my confidence, and I felt, I can do and show my qualities in every game. So it was easier to be successful after also at the big clubs.
I always think, Yoss, the way you played football, like it was almost like a cheat code. You had that one where you'd shape to shoot and just chop past people like all the time. Like
everyone's always going to do this. I've won.
No, but it's so effective. It's like that one, and just like chop, and everyone, they'd always go for it.
Yeah, and during the days when I kept doing it, and before I do it, and I say, for sure you will know I'm going to do it. You will wait for me there. I say, I'm trying again, and he's not there. You're going to the other side. So I say, okay, it still works.
It still works. We're going to see some of that today.
I hope so. Not in the same intensity, but I think I can do it.
Yeah.
And I saw some interviews also of ex-players like, Mark Noble, and he always said good things about me, about the chop and everything. So I think it's one of my main things, during my football movement. So I think it works quite well. So.
I obviously talked about, you being kind of friends with all the lads in dressing room, but like you very much immersed yourself kind of in English culture, like all the English boys in the dressing room really took to you as well and like loved you, wanted you around.
I think this is the, the best compliment I can ever get, because every club that I played, when they did interviews after, and like Pepe Reina, for example, Liverpool or Fernando, they said Yossi was the best teammate to share with him a dressing room.
I know, I have to second that, honestly.
Thank you very much.
I know I said that right from the start, opened it.
Yeah, and also in West Ham, a lot of players, they do some interviews and they say Yossi was, the best guy for the dressing room. As for me, it's more important, when how people see you as a person, and not as a player. It doesn't matter if you're a good player, bad player is different. But as a person, for me, it's the best compliment, and this makes me happy because I have good connection till today with a lot of players around the world, and this is more important than everything.
No, it just shows you, if you're a top person, I think it helps you in the long run, because people want to help you back, and
exactly.
you've always got a good rapport.
And you do things together, each person is different, but you've been in some of the best dressing room, and there is some players that are not getting well with this kind of players, and I funny story. When I was at West Ham, Tevez came. And I was sitting with him. I speak with the English players and I speak Spanish. I was his translator with the coach. And one day we went to lunch and I sit with some English players. And he called me to the side. He said, he told me, look, Yossi, no. If you want to be my friend, you need to sit in my table with the Spanish only.
No.
He was, in the beginning, he didn't understand English at all. And he was really close. He wanted we'll be together 3-4 players. And I told him, Carlos, if you don't want to be my friend, don't be my friend. I will be with the English. I will be with everyone, But 1 month later, we were together with him. He came with the English, he started to speak a little bit. So
no way.
I think this is my main part. I want to be good to everyone and try to do
Yeah, but that's a testament to you, man. That's a testament to you. So what was your favourite moment in a Liverpool shirt?
Well, I had a few great moments, but, everyone speaks... in Israel, everyone speaks about my goal at the Bernabeu when we beat Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League, because it wasn't a goal that I used to score with the head. It's small. You can score with the head. I didn't score many goals with the head, but it was a special moment when I scored the winner. And of course, I had a lot of other great moments.
Yeah. Oh, listen, Jos, good luck with everything, right?
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate having you on, man.
Thank you.
Absolute legend.
Thank you.
Djibril's arrived. Right, I'm here with Djibril Cissé. How are we?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. Happy to see you. It's been a long time.
Stylish, mate. You're still looking stylish.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
Listen, we trained last night. Woof. You've still got that shot, yeah? You've still got the power in the shot. Yeah. Well, I'm, I don't know if you know, but I'm coaching the strikers in Auxerre. Yeah.
So for me, it's normal to
shoot sessions.
At least, can show the players what to do. So it's important.
Well, I'm a player, and you showed me what to do last night.
You scored a few, so
no, it's good. Man. So, is it good to be back? Have you played in many of these Legends matches?
Yeah, that's my number. So Milan, Ajax, Celtic, and number 4.
So you're a veteran at this.
Number
you enjoy
4.
it?
Yeah, it's fun. And it's always special to Anfield. It's always special, and to see the passion. We retired players, we old players, and to manage to, as I said, 60,000 tickets.
Yeah,
it's amazing, and I think it's only in Anfield or in England, because in France, the retired players don't have this kind of intention from the club. Yeah,
that was it. I mean, you talk about France, but when you moved over here, I mean, what was your first impressions of the club of Liverpool, and obviously the place? Because it felt like you immersed yourself a little bit. Obviously, there was, you obviously became the Lord of Frodsham, right?
Yeah, How was that? That was fun. That was fun, though. That was, it happened when I bought the house. The title came with the house, so it was fun. It's extra, something extra.
Yeah.
When I arrived in Liverpool, it was, for me, it was like a dream come true. I was in Auxerre. Before this, I was in the south of France, in Nîmes. Small clubs, professional clubs, but not as big and developed than Liverpool. So it was a big moment, and I was waiting. The previous season when I arrived in Liverpool, I already signed, so I already knew I was a Liverpool player. But I was really excited to meet players like Michael Owen, Didier Amann, Stevie G, Carragher, like big names. So I was and a lot of French, Flo and Anto Le Talek. So I was really, really excited to come.
Yeah, and I think obviously it was Gerrard that signed you, right?
Yeah,
Gerrard, and then obviously when Rafa comes in as well, obviously you have good moments, but there was quite a couple of the French boys, they leave, right? But for you're one of the ones that I think Rafa still had trust in.
Yeah, because when he was in Valencia, I heard that I was on his wish list. So when I arrived in Liverpool and I signed with Gérard Houllier, then I remember a week before to start. Norman Gard, rest in peace, my friend, called me and said
the player liaison, Norman.
Yeah, he said Gérard gets sacked, so you're gonna have a new coach. I was.
How did you feel about that?
I was stressed. To be honest, I was stressed because you know how football is when a manager wants you. You know, he do everything he can to put you in the right state to be as good as you can, and when you're not really the player that the coach wants, it's a little bit. It can be tricky. But I was lucky because Rafa wanted me in Valencia. He's a herd white, and yeah, it was okay. Then my injury came and it changed the plans.
Unbelievable recovery though from that injury. I mean, how? I'm sure you've been asked many a time, but how difficult was that period?
No, I don't want to say difficult. I want to say challenging. It was a real challenge for me, you know, to see if I was the player and the athlete I thought I was. That, you know, I had a big expectation. I wanted to go high, to start the challenge high, and I didn't really. I wasn't scared or panic. I was like more how long it's gonna take, and I knew I would come back, but you know the challenges was to not to miss a long time.
Yeah, but you did come back, and you came back really well, and it was, as a credit to you, really. But talk us through, the penalty in 2005.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you been asked it? Number one, do you get asked it by Liverpool fans all the time? And how special was that night?
Well, it's a special night. It's a special moment, so it's normal that people ask you about it. And yeah, for me, it's we are strikers. We are number 9. That's a part of the job to take a penalty kick, and for me, I remember asking Rafa to take one, and I think it was already the plan.
What number were you, Chief?
I think third.
Third.
Yeah, and they missed twice before me, so I was like, even more relaxed and less pressure.
And you have in your mind, I remember the penalty really well, like you banged it, right?
Yeah, because, I think if you want to beat Dida, he's a big guy, and the only way is to send him the wrong way. And because I remember Johnny Risa missed, but it was a well-taken penalty. So he went, down and save it. So, and I changed my way of shooting because normally I go for power. And I try to change and open. But
I mean, like moments like that. I mean, this club's had so many special moments. But Liverpool fans are going to remember that night and that penalty like for the rest of their lives. Yeah, like you said. Do you realise the impact like that has? To be honest, no. But when we do like games like today, that's where we feel that we achieve something and that we are in the club for long, and it's it makes me proud because my sons live here, they're living in Liverpool, and they can feel that their dad did something special for the club. Yeah, very special for the club. Yeah. And what should I expect today then, Jiv? What's the Kenny Dalglish team talk like? Well, I don't know if I'm gonna start or no. I think he's gonna start you, to be honest. No, man. Listen, no, that was always the battle, wasn't it? Me and you. Okay, so we'll see. We played together a few times as well. But together it's good. Yeah, and, together's good. After last night's performance, I think you should be starting. I don't know. We'll see. For sure, I'm gonna give my best. For sure, I'm gonna try to score a goal because I love to score goals. Yeah. And especially in front of the cup and in Anfield, it's in front of my family, my kids, my wife. So it's a special moment, and I try to bang one. Yeah, are you still obviously looking very sharp? Have you still got the fashion brand? Are you still involved in fashion? Yeah. I'm still doing some shows with Adidas, with Y3, with Kid Super, with different brands. And I'm relaunching my brand, Monsieur Lenoir. With a big rebranding, and it's going to be cool. I'm looking for a rebrand myself, so if you need me to walk in any of the shows, I'm available. No problem. Obviously, I can. We have to go. I'm a very stylish young man. Yeah. We have to do if you need me, Jib, I'm available. For you. No problem. All right, top man. Yeah. Listen, thanks for coming on. Great to see you again. See you soon on the pitch. Right, I'm here with John Barnes. How are you?
Pete, it's lovely to see you, mate. You look like you've been in Dubai. Where's that tan from?
I don't know. I went skiing, believe it or not. Are you a skier?
No, where?
No.
Well, I mean, what, the Pleasure Dome in Manchester?
No, I was in
Verbier?
I was in Verbier, yeah.
You've changed, mate. From
I have
Ealing
changed,
days.
yeah.
Oh, I remember the old Ealing days.
The old
eh?
Ealing days, yeah.
Flipping hell.
The old Ealing days, mate, yeah. Very good. How are you finding out? What shall I expect from these Legends match? What's your role?
have you
I've not
never-
done one yet. First time.
Have you never played?
No. First time.
Well, the good thing about it, I mean, I'm the assistant manager, which means that Ken is the manager. Then Rushy, me, and Aldo assistant managers. So that means that me and Aldo will be doing all the work.
Yeah.
Because Ken and Rushy will be doing nothing.
I've just spoken to Kenny
You
before
pick
and
the
he
team
said
and
it.
then that's it.
Yeah.
But it's good because, as you know, you've played in okay, you haven't played in this Legends, but you've played in games since you've retired. And as much as all of the old players are like, oh yeah, we're going to come and take it easy. But once you get out there, you know, people are running
Take it
around. So you've got to be
serious.
careful because are you fit?
I'd say reasonably fit, you know.
Oh, so you won't get injured then because how old are you now?
Well, 44.
Yeah, I played until I was about 48. And as you get older, you still think you can run around and stuff and you start to pull hamstrings. But of course, once the game starts, they're going to be getting stuck in, aren't they?
Yeah.
We normally play Celtic and Rangers and teams like that. So I'm interested to see. There's Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Interesting to see who turns up for Chelsea.
See who turns up, yeah. So what? How much of this? It's a great cause, isn't it? The LFC
Listen,
Foundation.
the foundation is for me is the most important thing at Liverpool because,
Yeah.
of course, you know, I mean, it's an elite organization and it's an elite game where the foundation does local work. You see the sponsors all over the world. You know, I've been all over the world to China, Australia, India with the big corporate sponsors, but the foundation just focuses on local charities.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of work and they raise all the money themselves. So it's not as if the club just bankrolls them and gives them lots of money. The club make a lot of money, but they have to organize it themselves. And it goes to local charities, which is great. And the fans turn up. There's about 50,000 last year. It's going to be a big crowd. And it's a lot of the unseen work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of the work that they do locally isn't sexy, if you like. So therefore, the press and media don't turn up. So this is their big thing. They have a couple of events, but this is their big
Yeah, it's
one.
a
So the
good thing.
foundation do a lot of good work.
John, I just got to touch on you as a player. Like, obviously, you're an inspiration to so many players. I think you've got so many people into football by the way you played the game. What was your overriding memory of your career, certainly at Liverpool? What would be your favourite moment?
I've got to start off at Watford because
Yeah.
I'll tell you, with Graham Taylor at Watford, I mean, from a discipline point of view, because don't forget I played at a time, started at the time in the early 80s when there was a big drinking culture and you're going out and you're having fun, whereas at Watford it wasn't like that. So by the time I came to Liverpool at 23, I'd had 6 years at Watford, which meant that I was then brought up in the right way from a discipline point of view. I would have hated to be a 17-year-old coming into Liverpool, Man United because of the culture then, and you'd have been, because of peer pressure. So I was brought up in the right way for the first 6 years. Then coming to Liverpool, I felt I played on a Bill Shankly. Liverpool is a socialist club, which means that they have an affinity and a relationship with the city of Liverpool, with the working class people, and you have to have that character to be a normal person. As much as they were superstars, Dalglish and Rush, and they were winning things, you have to have a certain character, meaning you can't be more important than anybody else. A, in the team, and B, in the city. So I love this. And of course, you're married to a Scouser, so you know what it's like.
Yeah.
So it was really the overriding thing for me was the relationship they had with everybody around the city was apparent.
Do you think that has run through like to this day? Those values from Shankly all the way down. Like, is it still because
Football has changed,
Yeah.
and Liverpool maybe more than other clubs, but you don't have players now who will get involved in all the community stuff and being part of that community just from a everyday point of view. Walking around the shops and talking to people and meeting people. Not officially, but just like being normal. But football isn't like that anymore. So Liverpool are probably better than most clubs, but those days are gone. Yeah.
But there is something special about the club. Like every player who's played for Liverpool, like myself, like I didn't have a glittering career at Liverpool like you had, but I was here for 3.5 years, and it touched me. And my boys are now Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
I feel associated to the football club. Like it's like no other, right?
Well, it's because depending on what Liverpool always did was they looked at the character of the players. They had to have a certain character to be a Liverpool player. You don't have to be better necessarily. Yes, you've got to be a great player, don't get me wrong. But you have that character. As I said, my favourite player ever, technically, was Glenn Hoddle. Glenn was unbelievable as a footballer. Glenn could never have played for Liverpool. Not because he's better or worse. He's different. Yeah, so you have to have a certain character to come to Liverpool and to be ingratiated to Liverpool and to be part of something whereby the fans take you to their heart regardless of how successful you are or not. And that's always been the Liverpool thing. As much as, you see, we can't help the way fans see us. Because fans will always look at the so-called superstar, Gerrard and Torres, Dalglish and Russ. They'll always see them more important than their teammates. But they would not see themselves more important than their teammates. And that's a real Liverpool thing. You know, Liverpool was never about Rush and Dalglish. It was about the Sammy Lees and the Jimmy Caseys and the Terry McDermotts. That's the strength of the team. And that's what people in Liverpool like. So, as you say, regardless of how successful or not you were, because your character was similar to the Liverpool character, if you like, they will embrace it.
Well, where does John Barnes sit now? You keep going like Russian Dalglish, you know, did that kind of era. Where does John Barnes sit now? Because
okay, well, John Barnes and Peter Beardsley wasn't more important than Barry Venison and Ray Houghton.
Yeah.
So if you can go through to any of the so-called superstars. That's why I mentioned, you know, Gerrard and Coutinho and the so-called superstars in any particular era. Dalglish and Rush, but then I spoke about Steve Nicol and all the people. You had Phil Neal. So the Liverpool thing from Bill Shankly's time, as I said, the fans are always going to put the two superstars ahead of there. But we can't help that as players. But what we can help is the way we see ourselves in relation to our teammates. And as long as you don't see yourself more important than your teammates, you will be a Liverpool player.
You know, I asked Jamie Carragher, I said, all the players at Millwall that you've seen, I said, who's the best you've ever seen in training? He said you.
Well, you know, he was a young kid coming through. And I suppose if you're young, you will then... It's a little bit like now when I speak to people about who their favourite player are, and if they're in their 40s or 30s, they'll probably say Steven Gerrard. If they're in their 60s, they may say Kenny Dalglish. If they're in their 80s, they'll say, you know, Ian St. John. So as a young player, I suppose the impression that you have is of if you're young and whoever is there at that time and who's doing well. And plus the fact that, you know, I used to speak to the young lads and look after them because, you know, there was a lot of character building in those days, which would be called bullying now. Even Jamie Redknapp, I remember Jamie coming up and I, you know, looked after him because, of course, it was a hard school when you're a young, good-looking boy coming up from London. So I suppose the younger lads, took to me a bit because I always had a bit of time for them. Yeah,
nice. I know, listen, you're a fantastic ambassador for the football club now. What is it? What kind of work are you into with the club?
Well, of course, if you, as I mentioned, you know, the foundation does great work in and around the city, but we know where the bread and butter of Liverpool is. I mean, the sponsors all over the world. I mean, to China, Australia, the traveling that we do because there's so many sponsors there. So it's good that Liverpool still have time for what goes on here because in many respects, you know, if not just local people, but whatever happens here, if they're not invested in Liverpool would still make hundreds of millions abroad, obviously. So Liverpool still feel a responsibility to put back into the community. So I suppose that is where we come in as well as, you know, doing stuff abroad, but also doing a lot of stuff locally. Because sometimes the first team players aren't called upon to do it, so they go back to the old ones to you know, go to the schools and the hospitals and stuff around here. But I was doing that anyway before I was an ambassador. So yeah, it's all good.
No, good work, mate. And I think last time I probably had a proper night out with you. I don't know if you're having a few beers after tonight, but I think the last time I might have been in Dubai and the rap was out.
Well, you know, I suppose that's what you can call a proper night out. If this was 30 years ago, that was just a starter.
No, really?
So that's not.
God, that felt like a big night for me.
Well, you're young, aren't you? So you know, if you go back to my day, that was just a starter. Can't believe you call that a proper night out.
Good night, though. Good night.
Yeah, it was
John,
good.
top man, mate. I'm looking forward to the game today. Just give me some minutes, all right?
Yeah, don't run around too much.
Right, here we are. We've got the main man, Mr. Steven Gerrard. Well, come on, the main man here. It's a big draw. The reason we sell out. How's it going?
Good, mate, yeah. Stress-free, out of work in terms of the coaching and the management, which is obviously 24/7. So back in Liverpool a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Going to try and make the Merseyside derby, see a few friends and family, mate. So I'm great, I'm all good.
Yeah, enjoying. I know obviously you want to be in work and things, but is it nice to kind of sit back and come back to your home city and do normal things again?
I don't want to be back in work, mate.
Do you not?
No, not at the moment. I've just come out, so I'm happy with waking up and being free and doing the family stuff and just being free away from stress and all that. I will go back in at some point.
Yeah.
But when it's round the clock, I've been doing it 18, 19 months in terms of the last job. I just want to be free. I want to go and have a game of golf. I want to go down the boozer, have a couple of beers. I want to do normal things that you can't really do when you're coaching. So I'm all good.
Yeah, good. What? How nice is it to come and see when you? This is my first one I've done. So nice to see the lads you've played with and shared so many amazing memories with.
Listen, I think obviously the main priority is obviously the cause that we do for the foundations, this foundation, the Chelsea Foundation. But I know the next big draw is to get back in the dressing room with the lads and, you know, run it back if you like. Obviously you can't run as fast and you can't think as fast. And the intensity is not the same, but to have a game of footy with your ex-teammates is a big draw for me. I've just travelled 7 hours to do this, you know what I mean? That's why I come back to play at Anfield, full house, see the lads, have a game of footy, Great crack.
And you scored a belter last time, right?
It was actually a couple of games ago, yeah.
Couple of games ago.
I was desperate to score. You know what I mean?
I'm dying to as well.
Well, listen, as soon as I get within range, just
gonna,
the back post.
Just clip them up,
I know
mate,
where
like
you're
the
at.
old days.
I know where you're at.
I've been tapping everyone up,
Yeah.
like, all the service lines. First one I need to talk to is you.
I love it, I love it. I miss it. I miss it every day. I speak to Carrot a lot about it, and he goes, I'm made up. I hated it. I hated the last few years. I miss it every day.
Do you?
Every single day. I would love to go back and run it all back again.
Really?
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I suppose when you've had the career that you have, I'd run it back as well.
to be honest with you, though, like you go, do coaching and management, it's sort of it'll fill the void and blah blah. It doesn't.
Nah,
it's just not the same.
It's just not.
It's don't get me wrong. It's a great job to still be around it and stuff like that. But in terms of the buzz of playing, I didn't appreciate it enough.
Do you know, I've mentioned on this podcast many a time that, like, I felt like, I got to a great level, but I felt like the real top players like yourself kind of didn't enjoy it enough. It was about the next game all the time. Whereas I'd go, fucking, I did great there and really enjoy it, whereas I felt like you maybe...
I think with a bit of maturity and experience, I look back and think, you're a bit too intense. You're a bit stiff, a bit serious, you know what I mean? I get all that, but
that makes you the player you was, right?
Yeah, well, maybe, but in my shoes, like in this city and stuff, you do carry it. I've heard Jamie say it a lot, he carried it as well, and you probably feel slightly more responsible. I don't know whether you've had that at previous clubs when you've been at the team.
I moved around too much, and
what have you?
Yeah, like I didn't play for the club that I was raised at. QPR for like a season, and that was it.
It's difficult to get away from it when you're from this city and you play for the club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's intense. Most of my family are Reds friends. You go out the door, it's red, and it's gone even bigger now. With social media, the club's grown. I think the current owners have done an unbelievable job. But even at the time, I lived it and breathed it, and it was round the clock. So I was intense, I was serious, I get all that. And people's opinions of me from afar or whatever it is right. I was too intense. But it is what it is.
It is, yeah, of course. And it's so hard because I've asked everyone else their favourite memories of being a Liverpool player, and I feel like we need another 2 hours for yours. But obviously Istanbul must have been right up there. But I mean, is there any other moments alongside that that you remember so fondly?
Yeah, lots, highs and lows. I often reflect and go over some bad moments again and go, well, I wish, that didn't happen. We don't have to go down that road. But make me debut was the big one because I'd been at Liverpool from 7 or 8 years of age. I'd chased the dream for so long. I remember being on the bench and around the first team, and I was so close. And I was fearing not getting my debut at the time. So when I actually got called to play the last 2-3 minutes against Blackburn, it was at Anfield. Wow, what a moment. I just felt on top of the world. And it was the same feeling when I had Istanbul, the FA Cup final and whatever else highs that people want to talk about. But that first call back from Phil Thompson to actually come onto Anfield. I'd watched so many games as a fan and I'd chased the dream for so long. That was the moment where I just felt like I was floating.
In that moment, obviously, because you're a local lad and all that, and are you thinking about your family and friends? Or are you just thinking, I want to make an impact in this game?
I just want a first touch of the ball. I want to feel what it feels like to play for Liverpool's first team. It was a pinch me moment because for the 6 months prior to it, when I'd moved in and around the first team, I'm on the bus with Robbie Fowler, Jamie Redknapp, Steve McManaman. These are people that I waited outside the training ground. I cleaned the boots. They're role models, inspirations to me. So for me to play in front of 42,000 at the time with my heroes, that was that proper pinch me moment. When I had all the other highs after that, I felt like I belonged in the first team. But that was like a surreal moment where you're like, what is going on here? What is happening to me here?
I've talked about on this podcast before, I think one of my early sessions at Liverpool when I first arrived, and I found myself kind of trying to impress you and Cara more than Rafa. And I've said about it before. Did you feel that? And did you go out to try and achieve that for other players and set standards? Because I felt your standards were so high, and I just wanted to kind of meet those standards. Did you see that with players?
Definitely wanted to set a standard. Yeah, you're definitely right with that. I think, you know, as the captain of the team or vice captain of the team, myself and Jamie, I think we had a responsibility to try and hold that standard, because that had been obviously put into us for many years growing up, the Liverpool way. But I was never out to intentionally make anyone feel uncomfortable or put any more pressure on anyone. If anything, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Always wanted to try and help people settle as much as I can, but also from a football point of view, also set the standard, like this is a different club to most. You know, you need to be at a certain standard, because at the end of the day, every 3-4 days, this football club, you get judged to win. So it wasn't to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but yeah, it was to certainly get them standards.
Well, listen, my little lad's here today, and he's a big Liverpool fan, and he's never saw me play. He's only 5, and he's obviously really enjoyed. So, if you can put one on the plate for me at some stage,
As soon as I get, into the final third, I swear I'll be either to be looking to play off you, or I'll be looking for that little clip to the back post, or if it comes first time, it's getting whipped in, so you just run through the goal.
I really appreciate it, mate. I look at my FA Cup medal every day, and I thank you for it. So, if you just do the same again today, please.
Yeah, no problem. You bringing him into the dressing room?
Yeah.
How old is he?
Only 5.
Bring him in.
He loves it.
Get him in, they love it.
I will do, yeah. Top man.
Cheers, fellas. Thank you.
Stevie, really honestly, one of the greatest pods for me. Great to be back amongst old faces, just having a laugh again and feel like I'm a footballer. So, yeah, really special. Great to be back in the city again. Great to be back at Anfield again. It's a special place, and thanks for having me back.